Have you ever felt the tension in the air as the trade deadline approaches? Well, that's exactly what Matthew Knees experienced this past week as he faced uncertainty about his future with the Toronto Maple Leafs. With rumors swirling and the pressure mounting, the young forward has made it clear that he wants to stay a Leaf for a long time. But with big names on the move, will he get the chance? Stay tuned as we dive into the latest on Knees and his pivotal role in the Leafs' quest for glory. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest updates on our beloved team. Matthew Knees has been at the center of some intense speculation lately regarding his future with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just last week, he expressed his uncertainty to reporters about what the coming days would hold, especially with the trade deadline looming. It's a situation that no player wants to be in, but it's also part of the business of hockey. From the very start of training camp, Knees made it abundantly clear that he wants to be a Maple Leaf for a long time. This is a sentiment that resonates deeply with fans like us, who have watched him develop into a promising young talent. However, it seems both sides are not overly concerned about hammering out a shiny new contract extension during the season. Knees is a restricted free agent, and being just 22 years old, he lacks any trade protection in his entry-level deal. That uncertainty clearly weighed on him, and he admitted to reporters that the lead-up to the trade deadline was a little stressful. He wanted to stay in Toronto and be part of this group, but he knew he had to let the front office handle the business side of things. Fortunately for him, and for us, he remained with the team after the deadline passed. The trade rumors intensified, as reports surfaced that the Leafs were close to acquiring Mikko Rantanen from the Carolina Hurricanes. Imagine that, an elite talent like Rantanen joining the squad. But thankfully, the Hurricanes' request to include Knees in that deal was rejected. For us fans, that's a huge relief. Knees has been having a stellar season, playing alongside superstars Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. In just 60 games, he's already netted 24 goals and racked up 43 points. That's impressive for any player, let alone someone in just his second year in the league. Now, as we look ahead to the summer, Knees could be in line for a substantial raise from his current salary of $925,000. The question is, how much will it be? If he doesn't sign an extension before July 1st, there's a strong chance he'll be bombarded with offers from other teams. But here's where it gets interesting. For any team to pry Knees away from Toronto, they'd have to present an almost absurd offer for the Leafs not to match it immediately. That's a testament to just how valued he is within the organization. With fewer than 18 games left until the playoffs, Knees has a tremendous opportunity ahead of him. He'll be looking to help the Leafs secure home ice advantage and, hopefully, break the 30-goal mark for the first time in his young career. It's a pivotal moment, not just for him, but for the entire team as we gear up for what we all hope will be a deep playoff run. So, was it the right decision to not move Knees, especially with the allure of adding Rantanen? Honestly, I'm torn. On one hand, acquiring a player of Rantanen's caliber would have been a game-changer for the roster. But on the other hand, Knees has proven himself to be an integral part of our forward group and someone who could grow into a cornerstone player for years to come. Do we sacrifice a young talent with immense potential for short-term gain? It's a complex question that doesn't have a straightforward answer. Jeff Marek has stirred the pot again when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs and their pursuit of talent in the upcoming free agency. He's thrown the name of former Stanley Cup champion Sam Bennett into the conversation as a player the Leafs should be eyeing closely. Now, as the team navigates the tricky waters of contract negotiations with stars like Mitch Marner and John Tavares, every move is crucial. The offseason is looming, and we're all aware that the playoffs will soon wrap up, opening the floodgates for trades, signings, and the NHL entry draft. Bennett, who's currently with the Florida Panthers, is being touted as a prime target for the Leafs. Marek described the situation surrounding Bennett as a cattle auction, which definitely raises some eyebrows. He's a player whose intangibles make him desirable. He's got that grit and determination that every coach craves. You can't help but think about how the Leafs have struggled with that tough, gritty presence in their lineup. Bennett brings that and more. But let's not kid ourselves. Bennett isn't your typical offensive juggernaut. He's not going to light up the scoreboard like Marner or Tavares. But he's the kind of player who can chip in 20 to 25 goals a season. His defensive game is solid, and he's known for his ability to kill penalties and contribute on the power play. At just 28 years old, Bennett is in the prime of his career, and his current season stats show he's not far off from the production Tavares has put up. 42 points in 63 games. It's not just about the numbers. It's about the attitude he brings on the ice. Now here's the real kicker. Bennett would likely come at a lower price than Marner, and you'd have to think he could fit into a contract in the same ballpark as Tavares, possibly around the $7 to $8 million AAV range. That's a lot easier for a team to swallow when you're talking about a 28-year-old compared to a 34-year-old. But this leads to a serious question for us as fans. If Bennett joins the Leafs, what does that mean for the identities of Marner and Tavares? Would we be willing to part with two guys who have defined this team for the last decade? Honestly, I'm torn here. Sam Bennett could be a game-changer for the Leafs, adding that much-needed edge and toughness. He can stand up for his teammates, and let's face it, we all know how important that is in the playoffs. But can we really envision a Maple Leafs team without Marner and Tavares? Half of what we've come to love about this squad is their skill and creativity. Bennett's a different breed, and while he might solidify our bottom six and add some grit, is that enough to counterbalance losing? Two franchise cornerstones? As a passionate Leafs fan, I can't help but think about where this all leads us. Will the decision to pursue Bennett come at the cost of our beloved stars? And, if it does, is that the kind of sacrifice we need to finally lift the cup? It's a complicated scenario, and every angle needs to be considered. The future of the team hangs in the balance, and it's exhilarating yet nerve-wracking as we stand on the precipice of potential change. So, what do you think, guys? Is Sam Bennett the right path for the Leafs? Or do we hold on to Marner and Tavares and hope that they can finally get us over the hump? I want to hear your opinions down below. Let's get the debate going. Your thoughts matter, and together, we can sift through the complexities of these decisions. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all things Maple Leafs. And make sure to activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of the latest updates.